Form 1, Economics. Form 1, Economics. Now, take a look at these pictures on top of, on the first page. You will see some factory machines. You will see on the second picture, there's this factory machine which is inside a factory building. So these are all part of the factors of production which are man-made. So factors of production refers to resources required for generation of goods or services. So if you want to generate goods or services, we need to assemble these various factors before we would be able to produce. So we cannot just jump up and create like God created man or created the fishes. No, we have to produce, and we need to put these factors together before we produce. So factors of production could be classified into 4 major groups. And which are the major groups? We have land, we have labor, we have capital, and we have enterprise. We have land, we have labor, we have capital, and we have enterprise. It could also be classified as management, machines, materials, and money. They call them the 4 M's. So you see that all these 4 aspects fit into the factors of production. To produce, you need good management, you need machines, you need the materials that you use and transform, and then you need money. Inside management, you also have labor. Then you will have money. With money is power. So let's look at land. Here we are looking at land. You know what is land? Earth. That is what most of you know. A piece of land, getting it. That is one aspect of land, but that is just one. It also includes all natural resources. So all natural resources that are used in the production process are considered here. So we look at what? Mineral reserves. So if you have an iron ore mine, a bauxite mine, a gold, diamond deposits, and so on, these are all mineral resources. So that is what we consider as land. We have forest reserves. If you move around Cameroon, you find lots of this. This is also considered as land. And then we also have the weather, which we can exploit. We exploit the weather in geography and in agriculture and in other aspects. So we have what we call exploitable geographical features. So there are certain geographical features which you may think are just there, but we could exploit them and make money. Perhaps for tourism, if there is a cave, or if there is a special hill that attracts tourists. So that would be a geographical feature. Now, so we consider land as all those gifts of nature. They are natural. So in this picture, you can see land itself as it is, but see what is on it. The land can go for agricultural use, can go for construction, it can go for industry. In fact, it can go for so many things. So it is a factor that could be used it is a key factor in production, a very key one. Now, if we look at labor, we're talking about all human resources. In this case, we consider from experts, from the management to experts that he can hire, to skilled labor, trained staff, unskilled labor, the general labor, or whatever. So these are all human resources that contribute towards the production process. So if they are not there and land is there, forget it, nothing will take place. Now, if we look at capital, this includes all man-made resources. That is, it means that the resources have all been made by man, but the resources that we use in production. So here we consider factory buildings, production machines, and all equipments involved in the production process, furniture, tables, and so on. These are all man-made. So that is why we consider them as capital. So when we combine the natural resources, the human resources, and the man-made resources, we can now have a force that can be used in production. We can now have a force that can be used in production. Now, these forces alone, if you have land, you have capital, and you have labor. They are not enough for actually business to take off. You need a spearheader, somebody who will take the risk and put his money. That's why we saw money in the other sector there. So we need somebody like that who can put down the money and then organize the factors of production, organize them into something else. So that is why we have this other factor of production, enterprise. This is the factor that brings all the other factors or resources together for production to take place. You see, this could be the entrepreneur, this could be the CEO or chief executive officer, it could be a company proprietor, it could be a sole proprietor, it could be a group of initial investors or a board of a company. So these are the people who form the force of that enterprise. As they come together, they stake their money, they provide management, and that particular enterprise, that particular business can take off. And that particular business can take off. So we have seen these factors of production, and we have seen 4 of them. We could look at how to classify the factors of production. Classification of factors of production. Management, this is the lead role and the lead function. In every organization, there's a leader. So the management, as you have seen, management does not necessarily mean one man. It is the lead role and the lead function. Then, the other factors, you have machines. Machines, these determine the scale of production, the rate of production, standardization, etc. It means that if you are producing with your bare hands, production will be slow. If you have machines, the type of machine determines the speed at which you are going to operate, determines the quality of product that will come out. It determines how standardized your good would be. So machines add a lot to production. Management itself is the head, it is guiding. The machines now bring in this aspect of quality and speed and standardization. Then you have materials. If you have management and there is no machine, and there are machines, and there are no materials, what are they going to work on? So as we said, in production, it is materials that you generally transform into a finished product. So materials determine the end product and its cost. So the quality of the material determines the quality of the end product. The quantity of the material determines the quantity of the end product. I hope you can get me. The cost of the material determines the cost of the end products. If materials are too expensive, for example, if wool Or let's take another example. If sugar cane is very expensive, which is a material that they use for making sugar, if it becomes very expensive, sugar will automatically become expensive. If you buy poor quality sugar cane and use as material, your sugar will certainly be of poor quality. So you can see, if you have access to much sugar cane, it means that you'll be able to make much sugar. Now, let's look at this other factor of production, money. Now, money determines the rate of investment, the viability of production, and the scale of production. Because the investor does not come and invest water, he invests money. Before, with money, he can acquire the various means of production. With money, he can acquire the various means of production. So, the more money he has, the more he can invest, and the more he can guarantee the success of business and the scale of that business. Now, we have another factor of production, which some people some economists proposed. They are looking at knowledge as a factor of production. That it is not enough to just say that, okay, if somebody has money as an entrepreneur and puts into the production, that is all. There are certain aspects of production which need specific knowledge. So knowledge has recently been recognized as another factor of production. It is considered to be something higher than labor. You may consider the brain of an inventor. For example, in the production of something like a spacecraft, it does not just need money to be put together and then you invent something like that. No, you need special knowledge. Now, just continue reading economics, the beginner's companion.